I'm Morey White.
I'm Jake Schriner.
I'm Bob Nelson.
I'm Tracy White.
And I'm Pastor Johnny Leckie, and this is the Compass Conversation Podcast.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Yes, it
Is it yes?
We will follow you. You have the name above every name. We will follow you, King Jesus.
Cheers, y'all.
It is. All right. Well, it's good to see you guys tonight.
Likewise, Sam.
Welcome back, Tracy.
Thank you.
We're going to get to you in just a second, though.
Okay.
Because right to my right is this guy right here, Morey White. How are you, man? Welcome.
Barely awake.
You know what? We didn't frame those other cameras.
Are we unframed? That one?
Do we
And we're
need
good. I'll
some
take
more?
care of it. More
All right, you keep talking.
How was today?
That says a lot.
Welcome to the podcast. I'm Johnny. Wait. How are you doing, Morey?
Yeah, I haven't decided yet, but I am feeling blessed that I am here with you guys.
You're blessed
I'm
you're here with us.
I am here.
That's why I wore the hat.
Yes. Yeah, it was, work is work and life is life. Put those together and I am blessed to be here.
So you have a good work life?
I don't know.
You've had a lot going on. Let's just say it that way. You've had a lot going
I've had
on.
a lot going on.
And I'm really happy that you're here tonight.
What I'm hearing is work-life balance. Work, life, and you are the
I did get to go up into the mountains over the weekend.
Nice.
Julie and I took her truck up and over back behind St. Mary's Glacier. We are way up in there.
Oh, nice.
Some pretty rough roads. Fortunately, the truck has a slow cruise.
Slow cruise.
So I set it on 5 miles an hour, and we just
Oh, nice.
threw all the big bumps.
Oh, that's great.
It's an off-road cruise control for that type of situation.
That's pretty cool.
So that was pretty neat. As long as you don't go over 7, you have the front camera where you can see
7?
everything. Yeah. Apparently 7 is the unsafe number when you're off-roading.
See, I did not know that.
Get your eyes on the road off the camera.
Fun tip to know and tell.
So yeah, it was really cool. Saw places neither one of us had seen before, so we always like to do that. We do the, hey, I wonder where this road goes.
Nice.
And it was a whole lot of left or right. And we go up or down. That kind of thing.
Oh, very cool.
So that was
Well, I'm glad you made
a
it
blast. Yeah, me too.
You ended up in Mexico or something.
We did end up some snow. There was, of course, it wasn't snowing. It was fallen snow.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of like those fallen rocks. I'm not afraid of the fallen rocks. I'm afraid of the ones that are in the process of falling.
There's a new sign that I've seen recently. It's fall and rocks. So it's like they're rocks of ill repute kind of things. I don't know, cinder rocks.
Cinder rocks. You know those cinder rocks.
Rock on, man. I'm glad you're here.
Yep. All right.
All right, Jake Schriner, how are you doing, man? Good to see you.
Glad I'm here. Thank you. Yeah, had all of last week off, which was super nice. So Harper and I got to spend a lot of good time together, which is a lot of fun. Tuesday we drove up into the mountains and we were going to go up Guanella Pass and see if we could see any of the leaves changing still, if we could maybe catch the very end of that.
Yeah.
And by the time we made it to like Idaho Springs, she was getting real. I got to get out of the truck. So we stopped a little past Idaho Springs, and I did a quick search on my phone, and it's like, oh, there's a trailhead like 0.2 miles away. So yeah, we just parked the truck and walked and found a nice trail to go do, and a couple mile hike and then Idaho Springs. I don't know if they were having a fall festival or what, but they had their main street all blocked off. So that was cool because we got to walk down their main street and check out some shops, and went to Bojo's for which had a mountain pie, which is those are really good if you've not been to Bojo's.
Have you been to
I just heard that.
We're going to Bojo's.
They're really good. And And it actually snowed. We actually got to experience some snow. Yeah, we sat down at Bojo's, and then I look up after ordering, and out the window, it's just snowing. It only lasted about 5-10 minutes. You know, I was like, all right, this is definitely a trip to the mountains. You know,
last year I think it was this day. It was a snow day for our school.
Wow.
So it's very strange. Colorado.
Yeah, I know it's wild, but no, we had a really good time. And then on Friday we went to the patch down in Elizabeth. I think I told a lot of you guys about that yesterday.
The pumpkin patch.
Yeah, the pumpkin patch. Yeah, and that was cool. They had animals you could pet, and they had obviously a big pumpkin patch area and tractor rides and hay bales for the kids to climb on and all sorts of different fun stuff. So she had a really good time, and we brought home some massive pumpkins to carve. So that'll be next week's, or I guess the end of this week's endeavor. Yeah. So
I can't believe it.
And then work is work. Being back today was just a lot of putting out fires and figuring out what went wrong last week while I wasn't there. So, but yeah, all in all, everything went pretty well, and we're doing good. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, that just sounds great. I mean, that whole getaway thing, that just sounds wonderful to me.
Yeah, it was nice. Well, I mean, having like vacation, sometimes that can be really stressful because like you're taking work off just to get all packed up and in a rush to go somewhere for a few days, and then you got to come home and get settled again, and then as Tracy's experiencing right now, then you got to go right back to work. And it's a whole,
that's right.
it becomes a whole thing. So having that staycation is so nice. You just relax at home. You do what you want to when you want to, and
I love that you get to take Harper out on a trail like that, and being so little.
Oh yeah.
And yet I'm sure she had tons of energy.
Oh, she crushed it. She gets we've gone hiking a few times. She gets very nervous at the beginning, not too confident in her footing, or go climbing up steps or trails or going down hills or anything. But then by the end of it, she's just a trooper. she's getting it done. And it was funny on the drive out there. She's like, "Daddy, I don't want to fall down a mountain." I'm like, "Don't worry." It's like, "Oh, I'll make sure that doesn't happen. It's okay."
I don't do that either.
Yeah, that's what we're gonna avoid.
Or we're not going on a 14er.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
It's all fun and games till someone falls off a mountain.
I hate when that happens.
What a bummer.
I've lost so many friends that way.
Note to self: never hike with Bob. Okay, so
That's a little pushy.
Hey, check out what's over there.
All right, well that brings us to you, Mr. Bob Nelson. How are you doing today?
I'm much like you. I'm blessed. So we're dog sitting a friend of ours and their dog, and Bear was very how shall I say, anxious about staying with us last night. It's like, this is not what I'm supposed to do. No, what's going on? So he didn't get any sleep, so I didn't get any sleep. And so work was just like, this monotonous drag on top of that. Yeah. But on the bonus side, I took my other dog to the vet today, and she's a tiny bit overweight, but otherwise in super good shape, which is really good because that's the first time she's been to the vet in 6 years.
Okay. So you're doing it right.
Doing something. Yes, exactly. I'm either doing something really right or really wrong.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is.
But so I was good getting a clean bill of health on her, and she tested negative for heartworm. And she was really funny. She's a super passive dog, and so she's sitting there, and they grabbed onto her to get ready to do the temperature. Taking the temperature in the wrong zone, and you can see the annoyance on her face, but she's not doing anything. So
I'm also humiliated.
and the vet tech goes, and it's a slow one. So then they did a blood draw on her front paw, and she just didn't flinch, nothing. So she's just a super good dog. Good. So she's worth it. But yeah, and then.
I could hear my dog whining from the lobby. So I'm a little embarrassed now.
That said, I have to get her into the car, which is always that's not the fun part. She does not like the car. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Blessed.
All right.
Blessed
Well, we're glad you're here.
Happy I got a dog. So.
Okay.
Tracy White.
Hello.
You should be the most relaxed and
You would think.
happy to look.
You would think. By the way, in a funny pet story, it turns out that our cat, when he stresses out because nobody's home, he just days on our bed and sheds.
Oh, no. Just kind of rolls around, gets a brush, does
Got a cat-shaped
It was
nest.
Oh my goodness!
Did you break out the vacuum, dude?
And for whatever reason, he like apparently laid on my pillow the entire time because
Oh, that's great.
my
Well, of course he did.
pillow looked like poof. So,
It looked like what now? Poof. Oh, poof.
the name of the cat, Poof,
So like pooped.
because he's so poofy. And it shows all over the carpet and the floors and the pillow. But good to be back. It was a really great vacation. Always good coming home though. So, yep, came home and the water was turned off. So yeah, it was like, wait a minute. we were only been gone like 9 days. The 8 days really, 8 days. That they wouldn't have shut off for not paying the bill, which didn't even due yet. But apparently, they noticed the meter was continuously running, and what we found out after getting them to come out and turn the water back on is that this zone back in this corner, sprinklers was running no matter what. So the valve was stuck open, or is stuck open. It's all off now, and it was running. It had been running since we left.
It's nice that they came and shut it off.
It is, although they only shut it off a couple of days ago, and with a note on the door that said, "Oh yeah, you've burned through 70,000 gallons."
Oh my gosh.
So next month we're going to be passing the plate around.
You're on the water and you're getting a big bill about that.
Oh, I guess so. I guess so. We did eat enough food, over the course of the cruise that I don't need to eat for the rest of the year. So
Nice.
there you go. Good stuff.
Funny, your stomach will say otherwise, though.
It will, and it did last night. Hungry. But yeah, Aruba, Curacao, Dominican Republic, 2 places. Never been there before. It was beautiful. There was no snow. Very grateful for that.
No mountains to follow.
It's not cold.
For Bob to push off.
No mountains. We did a lot of walking and stuff, but it was on sandy beaches, and
Nice.
I'm good with that. A lot of
Nice.
swimming. A lot of swimming.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Snorkeled around some shipwrecks and some cool stuff like that, which was neat. So yeah.
Cool. That's awesome, man. Well, I'm glad you got to go. I mean, after we had that whole year, and many a podcast, a gloomy Tracy.
Yeah, but this was
Didn't
the
get to
second
go on
time
this
this year.
cruise. This is now your second cruise.
Second one this year.
Captain Stubing of Love Boat.
Oh.
When's your next one? May?
No, September next year.
Gotcha.
And then May of 23 for sure.
I might go with you on
It was
that.
exciting.
Birthday, anniversary, graduation, retirement.
I might go with that.
Yeah.
With you on that one. I can get you a card or something.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of cards, it's Em's birthday tomorrow. So I wanna.
Cool.
Oh, another interesting fact about Tracy being gone. He didn't tell Emily. So she called us.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, she's like, where,
She
where
called
are
us.
Your
Where
daughter
are they?
called.
She knew.
I know you
I have proof. I have proof.
Wait. Kid.
Nice.
Yeah.
So she
I
didn't
know.
know.
I know. Johnny?
It's the Monday for sure.
Yeah.
And we had a great long weekend, and it really was a long weekend.
It was
my
good.
gosh. By the time we finished stuffing bags and stuff for candy, it was late in the afternoon.
It was.
But it all went well. But I just want to mention this. My day at the school, I also do a little bit of volunteering. This sort of happened. I didn't think it was going to progress in this, but I'm sort of a crossing guard guy on the west side of the school. All right.
Johnny, there's no roads on the west side of the school. What are you guarding at?
Well, they just humor me, is the thing.
Stands out in the
So you
middle
want
of
to
the
be the
field.
crossing guard. Why don't you go out in the field over there and be the crossing guard? Okay. No. So it's a long story, and it's too long for a podcast. So, but anyhow, I ultimately end up being there, me and Lewis, and we're getting cars in, and I'm just reminded again how crazy people are. Okay, so just anyway, I love you, but you're crazy. All right, so So something happened today that I have not seen happen ever. I've never seen this. So the cars go into that west parking lot. And I'll stop people so the cars don't hit them, right? That's sort of the idea. It's a big stop sign. It's an STOP, stop, right? So they come in this way, then we'll bring them over to the road itself. We'll stop the traffic there, and they will go across, makes sense, right? Stop traffic, you're in front of a school, school zone. So I look up, I hear Lewis going, what are you doing, what? I look up, and so this car has stopped. And beside him, there's 2 lanes. Okay, this was a Hertz van, not a sponsor of the podcast, nor do I want you to. Anyway.
Just call me.
Oh, wow. So anyhow, a Hertz van got tired of being stopped, and they crossed the double line into the other lane to pass in a school zone with a crossing guard saying stop.
Wow.
Your fine is going to be enormous if we catch you on this. So we were like, what's going on? Anyway, and he ended up just kind of pulling back around and kept going.
Wow. And
I'm like, oh my soul. So, it's not the same as the lady who almost hit me, but that was a different night. So yeah.
Love y'all.
So that's how my day ended, basically. Wow. So anyway, but yeah, the good news is when but can you believe that really? So here's my public service announcement. If you're in a school zone and there are buses everywhere and kids and families, you probably should be driving slowly, first of all.
Right.
And then if the cars are stopped, there's usually a reason. All right.
Yes.
I feel good getting that off my chest. Anyhow.
It is a special kind of crazy.
Yeah, I was like, what am I seeing? You're pulling out to pass?
For Colorado, that's like a typical kind of crazy.
So what is going on? This is an old song by Jerry Reed called Lord Mr. Ford. Have you ever heard the song? It's about cars. No? All the cars stacked end to end would reach to the moon and back again, and there'd probably be some poor fool pull out to pass. Well, anyway, that's part of it. So...
and he drives a Hertz.
And he drives a Hertz because he's trying to hurt people.
Oh.
Actually, Lewis made that joke earlier. So anyhow, but then I got home and getting this giant speaker, which is not a frame or anything, but that had been delivered, and I got that. My neighbor came over. Gary, who lives on the corner there. Hey, you need some help on that? I'm thinking, yeah, because it's not working. So he came over and he helped me with that, and we got the thing into the car. And I got to talk with him a little bit for a few minutes. He's had multiple eye surgeries over the past 6 or 7 months. And as we were just talking there, I just was like, Gary, do you mind if I pray for you for a minute? He goes, oh yeah, yes, please. Took off his hat, took off my hat, and I just prayed for him, that he would, heal quickly and blessing on his family and all of that. And he was just like, thank you for that, thank you. And so so it kind of countered the frustration of the Hertz van to be able to pray with my neighbor. So I hadn't done that. I've not prayed with him at all. He knows I'm a pastor. Yeah. He also usually is asking me just about school stuff because he used to be a science teacher.
Fun.
Yeah, so he's just retired. But yeah, so I just thought, I'm just going to ask him. And so that reminds me how often people will let you pray with them. Yeah, people you might never think, they might not even fully believe or anything, but if you say, with not being weird or creepy, or pushy, but they can tell you really are concerned, would it be okay if can I pray for you about that right now? Would you mind? And they might just stand and watch you. And you just pray, pray blessing on them and God speak to them. So that softened up the day. The rest of the day, oh my gosh. Anyway, all kinds of kid stories I can't tell you. So anyway.
Joy of joy.
Changing clothes, at least. When a kid's going home in totally different clothes, it's one of those things.
That's how you know it's been one of those days.
Do you have to send an explanation note to the parents?
No, they know. With these kids, they know. They send them with extra clothes.
You're gonna have to do a Jeff Foxworthy's skit. You know you might be a paraprofessional if you're sending a kid home in different clothes.
Well, not just a paraprofessional, with severe needs kids is kind of the deal.
Speaking of para,
Oh yeah,
took out that
hey.
job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is today her first day?
No, she hasn't started yet. That
Okay.
starts beginning of next month.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so
Good
great.
for her.
Next week.
Oh yeah, it is.
That is right. That's next week.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Time is really going by
From
fast.
today. It's
Right.
wild.
But that does mean we're that much closer to Thanksgiving, right?
That's true.
I like that.
I love Thanksgiving.
Awesome, brother.
And
Well-
I'm actually taking the first day of November off, so I'll feel a little bit better after the Halloween thing.
All right, good for you.
That's smart.
That's gonna be a big day Sunday.
Oh, goodness.
It's gonna be a good day though, I think.
I'm really sad that I'm not going to get to join y'all, but
Yeah.
I'll be spending time in the cul-de-sac
You will.
with all my neighbors doing the chili cook-off thing that apparently has become a tradition.
They let you know.
They
this
let
year.
me know this year
Yeah.
that it is now a tradition.
That your chili is tradition, or
No, that
or just a thing.
the event,
Yeah.
because yeah, they were not real happy when I said, "Hey, yeah, we're going to do the thing up at the church," and
Oh.
they're like, "Well, no, we're doing it here." I'm
So,
like,
so
"Okay,
now
we're
our
doing it here."
church is actually facilitating that a little bit.
They are,
right?
That's great.
yes. We're
They
going to
mean
do.
we, of course.
That's right.
We
We're gonna,
are. You said
we're going to be showing a movie in my driveway, so that will be going on as well.
Oh, that's
In the
nice.
background. I just need to figure out which movie I'm going to show.
It'll be good.
The Lego movie, bro.
I really, no, it's not going to be the Lego movie.
It is Halloween. There's a typical genre that would. I suppose depends on how young the individuals are that are going to be watching.
Right.
the
Well,
movie.
you can play do Hotel Transylvania.
Yeah.
Nightmare from Nightmare Before Christmas and get, the whole.
That was actually
Not a bad
a
idea.
thought.
That's a
When are
good
you
one.
supposed
that
to
one.
watch that movie?
And
I mean,
Yes.
when? It's
Yes.
just yes.
Before
Whenever.
Christmas.
Just before Christmas, after Halloween.
That's right.
So then just like Thanksgiving.
Which is
that's when we're gonna watch it.
Oh my soul. That's what
Yeah, split the difference and watch it
Right.
on Thanksgiving. Hey, that could become a tradition.
Thanksgiving movie.
Yeah.
Also thought about Beetlejuice, just because it's
Don't
classic.
say it.
There you go.
Don't say it.
I just did.
No.
No.
Just not 3 times.
Then we all get to
Do
do
not
the
want to see
dance.
Michael Keaton nowadays. I'm just saying.
Yikes.
We'll see.
All right, guys. Well,
Or
let's shift
Brandon
things back
Fraser.
here. Or told not. I give a full.
I'm still sorry. I'm still
Hashtag.
sorry, Brandon.
Morey says he's sorry.
That's kind of funny.
That's very funny. Brandon, though, strangely has not responded to our.
And I tried. I hashtagged him too, so.
I could have sworn one of those 8 views on the last podcast was his.
Yeah, and it's Fraser. It's not.
Right.
What?
Also true.
That's correct.
I am really sorry.
Yeah, Fraser is the. Anyhow. Well, okay. Well, let's talk about something else now.
With the remaining 8 minutes.
With the remaining 8 minutes.
Actually, we
let's-
have more than that, but.
Okay, well, let's talk about anything else going on. Part of what we're talking about here is, yes, the church is letting you use the screen and the video projector for that in your cul-de-sac, but also we are at the school doing our Halloween Glow and Go station.
Yes.
Right, so that's stop on the journey. We got tons of candy, tons of bags of stuff with little toys and candy in them. And also, I guess we will be having our glow bracelets, free balloons. What else? Maybe popcorn and possibly a game. It just depends on who all is signed up to help us on that night. So
We'll be
we'll just
there.
see. I hope so.
Setting up lights.
Send a-
Yeah, Rich, by the way, I'll help you do that. We'll get that set up before I have to go back and facilitate the other thing
Okay.
and eat chili.
Each
and then chili.
That's good.
Well, it's going to be a good day. That'll be after Big Sunday, so that's what we're talking about. Why Sunday is a crazy day because
Yes.
we'll do our Big Sunday gathering that morning, and then take a little break, come back late that afternoon, get ready for the thing, And hopefully we have a ton of people, so we'll see what happens. We usually
Always do, yeah.
Yeah, there's not been a single time we haven't had a ton of people.
And the weather's supposed to hold up, though. This was really funny. A couple days ago, I checked my weather app, and it was everything's nice, 33 and snowing on Sunday. What?
Wait, that would be a bummer.
So I looked at a different, service provider, and it's like, okay, 50s, 60s.
I thought it said
much better.
56 or
Yeah,
something.
and it'd been saying that all week long, that same one, and then suddenly it's 33 and snowing. I'm like, you lie.
We hope.
I mean, we have done this event even though there was snow everywhere.
Oh, and super cold.
If you want, it's nice in Aruba.
Let's do it. Let's go to
Just go
Aruba.
there.
Just do it this Sunday.
Good with that.
Everybody's in. All right. Anything else about the weekend, Sunday message,
It was a good one.
music?
Well, so
Greetings.
it was on Closer, and I'm thinking your, situation with the cul-de-sac is a perfect example of that. You're bringing them closer to each other, which is a huge thing, getting neighbors together these days. It
is.
just does not happen. So that's
It's sort of a blend of more and closer,
Yeah.
right? So
Yep.
a little bit of outreach in a way, and also just getting to know your neighbors.
Though, it's something my mom has always preached to us, and something I've said on the podcast before is she has always said, you boys need to go to church. And we have said, we do some Bible reading and praying at home. Yeah, y'all need to go to church. And the point being, and you talked about this on Sunday, is sorry, there was a hair flying around, probably beard hair, or poof.
Probably.
But whenever you get closer and you're in a group and you are on the same mission, and you talked a little bit about being on the same mission, we have the same mindset, same focus. There is a support level there that makes you brave, and
Yes.
I can tell you that probably 10 years ago I would not have had this relationship I have in my cul-de-sac. But I do have the support from you guys that really gives me that courage to reach out, to seek out more, and to develop closer relationships
That's
with
awesome.
the neighbors.
That's so awesome.
So
Good. Yeah.
Very cool. What else?
Yeah, I was thinking about something I told Joy yesterday, day before, about Sasha. Whenever I go out, I see neighbors and they know me because of our dogs and so forth, and it's a huge thing. So my new tagline is, dogs are a missionary's best friend.
I love it.
that's good.
Well, I have always, and I say this every now and then, and you guys can pick up on it from time to time, but just given my own choice, if I'm going to choose what I'm going to do on a given day, I'm going to be by myself, or me and my wife, we're going to watch TV, I'm going to read a book, I'm just going to be, in my world, doing my thing. And so, some say you're introverted. No, I'm kind of an introverted extrovert who's extrovertedly introverted sometimes. So, but I always have discovered this. I was giving the illustration about the electric fence. What was that?
It's either my beard hair or poof again.
Some more hair spawn.
Hey, I'm just going to put this over my coat.
Yeah.
So anyway, I was giving that illustration about the electric fence kind of thing that we did, that group building deal. And the thing is, with all of those kinds of things, I started to say this, I don't think I ever finished the thought. So that's why I love these Mondays, because if I forgot to say something, I'll say it on the podcast. Anyhow, is that usually with group anything, my first thought is, I don't want to do it, because it takes some effort.
It does.
But almost 100% of the time, once I get in and get going, I'm always better for it. I'm always glad I did. I'm always like, I didn't want to go to that party. I didn't want to go to that thing. But I just do it, and I've just learned over the years that it isn't really based on how I feel. It's just about being that obedient sense that I need to be around people. I need to be encouraging to people. And it's that convicting thing. All of those verses, I didn't quote all of the ones I could have quoted. Beer here. So that's the only thing about getting together with people. Oh, get hair in your mouth.
Hair falling out?
Anyhow,
It's not. And it's not the cat. The cat's not in here.
That would be weird, wouldn't it? If the cat here got all
My beard.
I
Anyhow,
wouldn't be surprised.
It could be the same one.
I don't even know what I was saying now, Bob. What was I saying?
We're going on about the joy of actually going out and doing things and realizing.
Yes,
that-
and
how
I know what it
important
was too. I quoted all these verses, right?
Mhm.
And there's one of these things where it's like, no matter how you feel about your own personal growth or your spiritual development or whatever, if I start soaking up the Bible, it's not right for me to just hoard all of that truth in my head, right?
Right.
It's by design. You're supposed to share it and overflow. Share it with your wife, share it with your spouse, share it with your friends, things you're learning and all that stuff. But the thing about all those verses is that you can't obey. You can't do what Jesus tells you to do by yourself. It's impossible, right? So for that reason alone, we have to be together. And I always learn more when I'm with others. Like you say, we get courage together. And so I've just learned over the years that there's tons of times where I don't want to do that kind of thing. I want to just kind of, go into that hermit mode. But I'm always better, and I'm always thankful every time that I do. Right? It's like, get up, you've got to go. I don't want to go. Get up, come on, and you've got to go. We're going to be like, I don't want to go. But you're the pastor. Oh, okay. Sunday. No, I'm just kidding. Sundays. I'm always excited. I'm always excited for Sundays. I'm just kidding.
I will confess that you talked about the electric fence, and all I could think about was the goat.
The goat?
Licking the electric fence. I don't know if you've seen it. It's great.
I don't know what you're talking about, but it sounds hilarious.
It's
Probably something on the internet.
Licking an electric fence. Okay.
Yeah, you have to look that up.
I think I will. I'm only scared what I might find.
Yes.
All
You have to be
right.
careful about searches.
Well, anyway, but we did miss you. Did you? You must have seen some of it. You knew the electric fence
No.
illustrated. You haven't seen it?
I haven't. No, today was busy enough with
Okay.
catch up.
No
You
guilt,
know
no
what
worries.
catching up is like.
Yeah, no guilt, no worries. I do take your name in vain for just a quick moment.
He did look over at you,
Yeah, you were
and you weren't there.
offered the
But you weren't
opportunity to pick a card.
No, the one. Josh got to pick a card. We had a magician come by during dinner one night and did a really cool card.
Oh, cool.
He picked a card. I didn't get to pick the card.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Wasn't his card.
You still have to pick a card. All right, guys. Well, is there anything else before we wrap things up tonight? We've got ping-ponging around.
One advantage of the being awake as much as I was last night, I just went ahead and continued reading through my Bible study plan and
Oh, good.
I got caught up and then some. The problem is I don't remember any of it.
no.
There was
You have to do it again.
Yeah, exactly.
the whole
Yeah, the one of the things in Hebrews that you'd mentioned it, not neglecting the the fellowship of others, which is a huge thing. It's where people go, oh, I don't need other people. I can do whatever I want. Just kind of like you guys were doing way back in your day. And but there's another passage in there that really ties into that in a surprising way, and it's in chapter 10 where the writer of Hebrews says that if you don't have faith and you don't believe, you're kind of in a mess. It's not going to work. And if it wasn't for community, I would not believe. If it wasn't for the fact that I had hung around a bunch of Christians, I ever got to the spot where I would have gotten to the place where I believed.
That's right.
So,
yeah, a little bit of your testimony there is
Yep.
about that, right?
It took 2 years, but I got there. But
Yes.
yeah, you're just not going to find it on your own. The reason why we're supposed to hang out with people is because they are the ones that demonstrate Christ to you.
Yeah.
And that's a huge thing.
Interesting, because that also, and I always say this, more stronger, closer concepts, they bleed together so well. So it's like Christians who are not living as they should be, but they're still carrying the name and people know, can easily lead people away.
Right.
If they're not being genuine, if they're not really growing. It's not about being perfect, of course. It's about being honest and genuinely trying to follow Christ with your life. So that's an interesting thing, because if you had gone and were hanging around those Christians and they were all jerks, and they were all or
wouldn't have lasted
whatever.
long.
You'd have
Wouldn't have
gone,
lasted
yeah, that's what
long,
I
yeah.
thought, and you would have moved on. Right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
they do bleed together. All of these things do. So.
They do.
Well, I'll say something positive about our gathering, our church, is that one thing, and I'm speaking to everybody out there who's thinking about possibly joining, there is no one fake in the group that meets at Arkansas Elementary. Johnny has said from the pulpit multiple times, there are no perfect people other than the one we've come to worship.
Yes.
And that stuck with me from the very beginning, the first time I ever heard you say that. And I found it to be true. And so, yes, I'm encouraging everybody to come visit us because, that's what you'll find.
At least that is generally true as far as I can tell. At least that's what we want. It's what we're striving for.
Yeah.
You know. Anyway, that reminds me of God's great love for all of us. And it's the verse I quoted last in the sermon on Sunday. It's in the Gospel of John. It's chapter 3, and it's verse 16. I'm going to ask my friend Morey to tell you all about it.
I'm actually going to pass this torch.
And there it goes.
Yeah.
And it keeps going. What is that verse?
Rotation. No. Verse, for God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes shall not perish, but be given eternal life.
Very good. All right.
And like Morey says,
You were
read
horrified
it,
for a second.
and then read it again,
Yeah.
and pray on it, and think about it, and then what are you going to do with it?
There you go.
Yeah.
And then
Nicely, nicely done. Did you tell him this earlier, or did you just put him on the
No,
spot?
we talked about it earlier.
Ah, good. But even way, that was good. Well, that was a fun little baton toss. Well, all right, guys. Well, hey, you know what? We meet every Sunday at 10 o'clock somewhere in the world, but always online. And you can find us on Facebook at Compass Church Colorado. And you can discover more at compassdenver.com. And we'd love to have you as our guest this Sunday. All right, guys. Final words.
All right, before the final words,
Okay, the pre-final words.
everybody look at the camera.
All right,
So
now
there's
make a
your
weird
thumbnail.
face. Here's what from
No,
horrified, like
no.
Halloween edition.
Halloween edition.
And you were talking about needing to have a camera where you can all look at.
Oh, that's
so
right.
I wanted to look at it.
Well, that's
But
right. So we can set that up. Reframe.
that was it. I love you guys and love everyone out there.
Definitely love you guys. Likewise.
I love you guys. This has been great.
Peace, y'all.
Grace and peace to you. That's all we have for tonight, and we are out. Horrified face.
Man,
Nobody
I
said
didn't
a
hit
word about the
record.
bike.
I should have hit record from the very beginning.